Hello and welcome to another episode of OakieVision. My name is Ryan Barnett, Sports Information Director here at Menlo College. And my guest this week is recent Menlo College graduate and runner for the cross country and track and field team, Chandler Garrison. Thanks for joining me, Chandler.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're excited to have you and congratulations on the recent graduation. We're doing here on OakieVision, taking the chance to honor some of our graduating seniors this year. But like we want to start it out, we want to take it back to your roots at Menlo College, right at the beginning. So when you came to Menlo College, cross country and track and field programs were very young. I believe it was the third season of the program since it resurged in 2015, led at the time by head coach Dan Knoll. And you came in, you ran both cross country and track in high school. I'll start by asking just, did you have a preference? Did you think you were going to be running both in college like you did here at Menlo? Or did you want to focus on one or the other and sort of just because it was a younger, smaller program, ended up competing and being so successful at both?
So I was being recruited for both cross country and track. There was kind of always this expectation that I would do both. I've kind of recently kind of been leaning more towards track over cross country. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, to each their own, definitely. You burst onto the scene in your freshman year in sort of both events. You know, you came out first for cross country. You finished second amongst all your teammates at the GSAC meet and, had a great cross country season. And then going on into track, earned all GSAC status in your freshman season, running on that 4x 800 or 4x400. You may know better. Relay team.
4x800.
The 4x800 relay team. And then, also became one of the top runners at the 800 meters in program history, just as a freshman. So following your freshman season, how did you see, sort of the rest of your collegiate career shaking up if there wasn't, the coaching change and Coach Knoll stuck around versus, we'll talk a little bit later about with the coaching change and how things change with Coach Crines coming in.
Oh, definitely. I just was really focused on just improving, and that's always been my mantra, is getting better every day. So a huge barrier for most 800 runners is the 2-minute mark, and I have been gunning for it since senior year of high school, and I was finally able to do it sophomore year. I don't, other than that, I don't really have times I'm trying to hit. I'm just trying to get better each day. So I didn't really see a difference in mentality switching coaches or anything like that, but there was definitely change in coaching styles. And I think Crines is definitely more of a longer distance coach than Coach Dan and Coach April.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to ask you was, with Coach Crines coming in, you guys sort of flip focus. With Coach Crines, it was all over the place. You had throwers, you had jumpers, sprinters, and of course, distance runners. You running the 800, maybe a little bit longer. I guess you'd be considered that middle distance range, right?
Yeah, so, I'm a mid-distance runner.
So then, with Coach Crines coming in and really sort of forming the program as a distance program, how do you think that helped you grow as a runner?
My half marathon time definitely dropped.
Okay.
I got that under a hour 30. Wow. I think that having an assistant coach who was a sprint coach was really good because that allowed us to continue to develop that sprint area. And so I trained under Coach Patrick during track season, and so that really helped boost my speed and my form, because she was very technical, and she kind of helped give that much needed perspective on form, because that's everything in sprints. And as long distance runners, we kind of sometimes have our form kind of depreciates over the course of a race, and so kind of having her there doing those exercises with us, getting us doing hurdle drills and all the many different speed and technical stuff, and she brought that really nice perspective to the program. Yeah.
Excellent. And it wasn't long before, I mean, you and your teammate and classmate, Logan Pine, really wrote the Menlo College record book for the 800-meter distance. I mean, you guys hold 8 of the 10 fastest times in program history for the 800, including the only 2 who've ever run it sub 2 minutes, as you alluded to earlier. I think you hit that in the GSAC championship of your sophomore year. But yeah, you know, what does it mean to you to have your name all over the Menlo College record book, and also to do it with a teammate who came in with you that I'm sure you've been working closely with? You guys run similar distances like Logan. What does that mean to you? And to know that likely, you know, your names will be cemented in that history book for quite a while.
It's a really good feeling. I don't think Logan and I were really like just going out there to like get all these records. It's definitely a lot easier when you have a teammate who's at that level with you, and so you just kind of push each other farther and farther, kind of like edging each other on. Like, I think Logan came in as a sprinter and he just kind of fell into this distance thing, and so it was really nice to have like someone who was more used to that like speed stuff, and so he really pushed on those days, because we'd have like a speed workout and then more of a endurance workout that worked on our stamina. And I think he kind of pushed me there, trying to boost my speed, and I helped kind of keep him level on the stamina workouts.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I mean, then it seems, you know, conflicting styles or contrasting styles, I should say, that really worked hand in hand together to get the best result out of both of you. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. Now, if I recall correctly, when we were running our Fun Fact Friday series, you yourself are a musician, correct? Play saxophone?
Yeah, I was actually just playing a couple minutes ago.
Okay, absolutely. Great. Now, my question for you is, you know, are there sort of parallels you could draw between playing music and being out on the track or on the cross country course? Personally, I was a musician in high school. I was not that great of an athlete, so I couldn't think of one in my head. But I wanted to hear from you, someone who, you know, was able to continue doing both, or is it sort of just separate things and you're just a multi-talented guy?
I mean, a little bit of the multi-talented, but there's some things that carry over, like timing. Like that's really important in both music and running. You can certainly lose a race on the first lap, but you can't win on the first lap. And just like music, you don't want to rush it. There is kind of a melody, and you just kind of have to follow along. And sometimes you get like songs stuck in your head, and that just kind of helps keep you on the current pace you're going. Sometimes it's just like 1 2 1 2 1 2, and you get that like motion, that in your head, that rhythm, and then your legs are just out there carrying it out for you. Like,
Excellent. Yeah, I mean that's a great way to look at it for sure. And you know, I'm sure it all ties together. Like you said, you know, even though there aren't too many similarities, you're able to, you know, take your talents from one thing and add it to another, and you know, succeed a little bit in both. Now, like we said in the lead-in, congratulations! You just graduated from Menlo College and got to walk across that stage. Something we were able to achieve because student athletes like yourself were able to, you know, stay the course and avoid any outbreaks on campus of the COVID-19 virus. But now that you've graduated, I'm just curious, what are your plans now post graduation?
so post graduation, I got into Sonoma State grad program
Excellent,
for marketing.
congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And so I'm just taking this time here to like train, get ready, maybe consider doing a little graduate running, and just kind of builds my network in the meantime before going in. It's a 3-semester program, so I will be done next fall.
All right, all right, and that's not too far from home for you, correct?
Yeah, it's like a 10-minute drive from where I live.
Excellent. And my last question for you, you know, new head coach coming in for the cross country and track and field program, Coach Daniel Simpson. He's bringing in a group of recruits here, but you know, of course, they're still coming to that same Menlo College, you know, small campus environment. What piece of advice would you give to the future incoming Oaks of the Menlo College cross country and track and field program?
Um, I think I would tell them to like keep their heads up and like keep their eyes on their aspirations. Like the main thing in running and with college is you got to keep your head up, keep focusing on what's ahead, not really looking too much on the mistakes you made. Like you can learn from them, take a moment and reflect, but ultimately you still have the rest of the race to run. Like you can't just give up because you had one bad moment. You got to keep pushing forward.
All right. Well, that it sounds like some wise words indeed. I want to thank you for your time, Chandler, for joining us here on OakieVision.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a nice opportunity.
Yeah, well, we definitely love the opportunity to interview someone like yourself who did the whole Menlo experience for 4 years. Fans, stay tuned. We're going to keep coming here on OakieVision with these senior spotlight interviews every week here on OakieVision, where we keep your finger on the pulse of everything going on with Menlo College athletics. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.